Hello friends. I've taken a little hiatus from filming, making content because I've been in the air. I would say on the road, but I've been in the air. I've been traveling. I flew from Naples to Miami and spent 3 weeks with family. Had a really beautiful wedding. My best friend got married to the love of her life and got to spend so much deeply connected quality time with my best friends and their littles and my mom. It was such a soul-filling time and I needed it so badly. So I've come back, I've returned to Naples, and my cup feels so overflowed, so full, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So this morning I have green tea in 1 cup and beef bone broth in the other. I reached for the coffee and I thought, you know what, my jet lag probably doesn't need a whole lot of caffeine with milk and sugar, so I'm gonna go with this. And I know green tea is caffeinated, but it's also got antioxidants more so than coffee, I believe. Also, there's a new member of the house, if you can't hear her rustling in the background. We flew together all the way from Miami, so I'm super proud of her, and she did really well. She had to go in cargo because she's too big to be in the cabin with me. Also, she's a bit too crazy. I feel like she would whine the whole time. But Sunny, please, really? She wasn't doing this at all before I hit record, so there's that. I'm not used to having a dog again. So we got Sunny back in 2022 in Norfolk, Virginia. And she has been with my mom for the last 6 months or so. My mom and her boyfriend so kindly looked after her for all this time. Sunny, can you get out of the way? And they looked after her and they did so well and they grew such a bond to her. She's one of those dogs that it takes time to really grow that connection with because she can be pretty irritating at times, but what dog and what being cannot? I can too. I'm sure I'm tough to live with. But anyway, she's here. We're so happy to have her. It's so nice to have a snuggle buddy in bed. We have a king size bed and Matt makes it a point to sleep on the opposite end because he only sleeps well when he's not touching anyone else. So she's my cuddle buddy. If you have any questions about traveling with your dog, I think I might be a good resource and able to help because I knew absolutely nothing going into this. And honestly, I didn't do a whole lot of research, which is kind of very neat to not do any research on a big thing that I'm doing, big move I'm making. The internet will give you a lot of what you do want and also a lot of what you don't want. So it can be very fear-mongering, and I just wanted to avoid that at all costs because I knew either way I couldn't talk myself out of bringing her here, and it all worked out. So the main things are that you want to make sure they're acclimated to a kennel, and even better if they're acclimated to the specific kennel that they're going to be traveling in. That really wasn't the case for Sunny because I was only home for 3 weeks, so I ordered the kennel from Amazon and then tried to let her naturally gravitate toward and get comfortable with the new kennel. She is kennel trained and we call it her house. She loves her house. She'll go in there willingly. When she gets tired, she goes into her kennel, but this one was different because it had an enclosed top on it and less kind of ventilation. It looks a bit different. Honestly, if I were her, I wouldn't have wanted to eagerly go in there either. So I don't blame her. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but that's the kennel. It's one of those travel carriers. It's got wheels in the bottom. It's awesome. I would say 10 out of 10 with that. All I did was measure her and make sure she had enough room, 5 or so inches above and to the sides. I made sure she could turn around. But anyway, she did not want to go in there, so I was a bit worried that the kennel itself would be a problem, but she actually did really well. The only time in the airport that she panicked or started to whine was when she saw another dog, which I anticipated happening. she does that no matter where we are. She flips over dogs. So we got here, the whole time on the flight, I thought of her. I had a window seat. It was lovely. They gave me that at no additional cost, and it was randomly assigned to me. So I was super grateful for that because I love the window seat. I get pretty nervous on flights, but this one was like as good as it gets. Honestly, my flights from Rome to Miami and back have been smoother and more relaxing and enjoyable than some of my other shorter flights in the States and stuff. So, and in Europe, because of course they can get pretty bumpy in Europe over the Alps and all. But anyway, I'm going way off topic. I feel like I have so much to catch you guys up on. Aside from Sunny, it's really good to be back and be with Matt. And yeah, we kept in close touch while I was gone. We spoke on the phone a lot. We enjoyed our time apart, and we're so excited to be back together. He went to Amsterdam the last weekend that I was gone with some of his buddies. So I was really happy that he had the chance to do that and go do some exploration with friends and get that time to have quality time with his friends too. Adjusting to Ailey again has been a little hard on my body. I had a cold also coming in here, so I've been sleeping a lot. But today it's 10:30 a.m. and I feel awake. I feel like I can make it through the day and go to sleep tonight, and hopefully I'll be back on track. Anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of movement this morning because while I was home, I moved a lot. I did a lot of running. I did some weightlifting, Pilates reformer class for the first time, hot yoga. Tried to keep my body moving. I tried to keep in the physical shape that I feel best in my body. And coming back here, I missed out on a few days of working out. And if you know me, you know that's not like me at all. I really try to do some form of movement every single day, whether it's 10K steps plus weights, weightlifting, or going for a run or a class. Peloton is something I'm passionate about. So I really do switch it up. I don't have a solid regimen with my working out most of the time. Occasionally I will get on like a 4-day lifting split and stick to that for maybe 8 weeks or so, but I go through a lot of different waves and phases with my exercise regimen, and I just go with that. Whatever my body's feeling, I'm like, okay, you're moving, great. And if I feel like my cortisol levels are super high, I'll kind of tone it down on the HIIT and the intense cardio and do something more gentle and soft like yoga or walking, things like that. But then part of me also feels like cardio and running helps you level those cortisol numbers out. Who knows? Everybody's different. Just listen to your body. That's what I do. So yeah, my joints are super stiff. I flew ITA Airways. It is an amazing airline. They provide you multiple meals throughout the flight. They provide a pillow and blanket. There's a screen that shows, you know, how far you've got to your destination and lots of movie options. So I love flying that airline. It's also usually, I'd say 75% Italians. So that's what makes it so amazing, because Italians really know how to enjoy life and enjoy the moment. And so flying with them is always like the whole plane is in high spirits. And for someone like me who gets a little bit stressed over air travel, I feel so comfortable on flights that consist of mostly Italians. We flew from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m., 6-hour time difference between Miami and Rome. So we jumped ahead 6 hours, so we landed 11 a.m. Rome time. And honestly, I didn't sleep as much as I nearly would have liked to. I was in and out of sleep for probably 2.5 hours out of the whole 10-hour flight time. but that's okay. I'm making up for it now. Like I said, I don't have a job to come back to, which has its perks and it has its downsides. So this is one of the perks, that I get to sleep and recover from jet lag naturally. Things I missed about being in Italy while I was gone. And I know it seems like 3 weeks isn't that long, but honestly, it did feel like a long time to not be here. And it feels like a long time since I've been here. So things that I'm appreciating being back here are just having my own space and enjoying home again, this version of home. Matt's at work today, so I just get to enjoy myself and my company and Sunny's company. And yeah, I think not having her for the first 3 months that we were here was a little challenging because I needed that like companionship. And I don't know if you've ever felt the difference between oversleeping by yourself versus oversleeping with a dog next to you. It's almost like dogs give you this permission to relax and do nothing and listen to your body and chill and sit and stop for a second. So yeah, she gives me that sort of confirmation that, okay, this is okay. And yeah, she's a really, really, really good companion. She loves humans. She loves cuddling. And she's a sweetheart. That's one thing that's different since coming back. Definitely excited to get back into my regular movement routine. I did not have any access to a gym. I didn't have a car when I was home, so we sold my car recently because I wouldn't need it, and it was staying at my mom's for 3-4 years, so no point in that. So we sold it. I'm excited to get back on my Peloton bike, get back in the gym and lift some weights. Definitely excited to just spend time with my lover, do some more traveling, explore Italy more. Some of the places that I'm wanting to go now that it's warming up are Capri, Sicily, Sardinia, and just anywhere else that we've already been and want to check out again or haven't been before. Also, there's so many neighboring countries that have the most beautiful sights to offer, so excited to look into all that too. If you care to, you want to do a little movement with me, I would say just find a seat if it's accessible to you. Bone broth in the morning hits. That warmth is so soothing. So sit however feels good for you. I feel like I need a little bit of that compression in my ankles and knees, so I'm just gonna sit on my legs here, shifting forward and back, whether you're cross-legged or your legs are out in front of you. Just shift the torso around, loosening up the major joints, the hips. Maybe you roll one shoulder at a time, opening up those shoulders to the back. Link your breath with your movement, maybe take it in the other direction. Beautiful. If you'd like, roll over to tabletop. Wrists are below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Start to gently bump the hips side to side. Lots of dog hair on my mat. Maybe you flip the palms. Ooh, my wrists are so tight. Micro movements to stretch out the wrists. And flip the palms back. Maybe you take those hip bumps just a bit deeper. Beautiful. Plant the left hand center of the mat. Reach the right arm high. A little spinal twist here. If you care to, thread the needle. Resting right shoulder on the mat, right temple on the mat. And you can walk the left hands out long toward the front of the mat. Eyes can remain open. Gaze is soft. Breath is steady. And just find yourself here now. Notice if you're feeling anxious to get to the next pose or the next breath. See if you can just enjoy the sweetness of the now. In Italian, they have a saying, dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. Let's take it to the other side. Right hand plants, left hand reaches up high. Excuse my Italian accent, I am working on it. Thread that needle if you'd like. Left shoulder down, left temple down. Walk those fingers toward the top of the mat. Right hand reaches. Gaze is soft. Body relaxed. When we force our bodies to slow down and relax, our brains really don't have a choice but to follow. And if that's easier said than done, then see if you can just pay attention to the breath. Bring yourself back up, little counter twist, and reset back to tabletop. Let's walk those hands out long to puppy pose. Hands toward the front of the mat, forehead rests down. If you'd like a little bit more, you can take the chin to the mat. Eyes can be gently shut or gaze is soft. Beautiful. Slowly tilt those hips back as you walk the hands in. Let's do a little cat-cow. So we're gonna dome up the spine, tucking the tailbone in, chin comes in. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, curl and round, chin to chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And let's just come back to our seat. We're not doing anything crazy today. Maybe the legs come out long. Reach the arms up overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, and you can fold gently. It's so crazy how you can rack up all these yoga points and do yoga every day of your life, and then you take a break for a week, get on a plane for 10 hours, and you feel so stiff, like you've never done it in your life. And that's the beauty of it. You know, we always start over. We always have the ability to start over. Sometimes life forces us to start over. And I've been working with this practice that I came up with where I pretend to forget everything that I know. Everything I know about myself. Go ahead and roll it up when you're ready. Let's bring those feet to butterfly. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, do a soft fold. So just forgetting, the practice of forgetting that I have plans later this week, or forgetting that I have emails to reply to, that I have these worries that I've been overthinking in my head. And just this practice really brings me into this very moment, and I can't move outside of that, because it's like, oh, I don't know anything, so I can't be thinking ahead, and I can't be dwelling on something that happened in the past because I've completely wiped my memory. And I know it sounds so silly and ridiculous, And if you're like trying this right now and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, how do you even do that? Well, it's, I guess, a form of shutting your brain off. And I know that's not easy for some people and it's easier for others. For me, I've always been able to think about nothing, while a lot of times I don't do that. I can have the power to do it. So if I'm really conscious about it, I can shut my brain off and think about nothingness. And that's a beautiful skill to have, I think. So if you don't have it, I would try practicing that, because I do think everyone has the potential to at least hold that consciousness for like 1 second. And if you can do 1 second, then you can practice and get to 2. And if you can do 2, you can practice to get to 3. And with time, be a master meditator. We're just doing one leg at a time, switching out, and little stretch. Maybe you take opposite hand to the outside of the ankle. Do a little twist / forward fold. Beautiful. I'm gonna bring my head to the top of the mat, laying on my back. Oh. Bring the knees to touch in the center. Feet come wide as the mat. Maybe the hands are overhead, maybe the palms are by the sides. Just take a second here to feel this stretch in the inner thighs. Gently shut the eyes if that feels safe. Maybe you plant one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. See if you can practice that forgetfulness. Where the only thing you can recall is the breath, how you feel in the moment, physically, emotionally. And we'll gently walk the feet in closer, about hip-width distance. We're going to plant the left ankle above the right knee. Draw that knee in towards you. Fingers can interlock behind the thigh. Maybe you rock side to side. And then release the bind, lower the left foot down, right foot. And then go ahead and shift the hips toward the left side of the mat, lower the legs toward the right. Here you can either tee the arms out or keep them rested on the body. Gaze can fall toward the left. Gently using the core, bring the legs back to center, recenter the body. Go ahead and switch out the legs, right ankle over left thigh. Draw the left knee in toward the body, maybe interlacing the fingers together, shifting the hips side to side. Focus on the areas where you feel this the most. Maybe use that right elbow to gently push the right leg away. Release the bind, lower left foot down. Adjust the body so that you're more toward the right side of the mat, and then lower the legs down toward the left. Again, you may bring the arms to a T or simply keep them where they're at. Gaze goes right. And the integration of it all is just as important, if not more, than the actual work that we do. So allow yourself rest, allow yourself no screens. Maybe no content, maybe you just sip on a warm drink and be very attentive to only that. Bring the legs back to center, reset, windshield wipe the knees, side to side. And we'll gently roll to one side, meeting back in a seat. Rest the eyes shut if that feels good and safe. Hands come rested over the sternum, one palm on top of the other. Take a big breath in. Hold it at the top. Maybe you pulsate the belly like so. Keep retaining that breath. Little sip of air at the end. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that breath go. Lower chin to chest. Come inward. Sending love, light, positivity to ourselves so that we can share that with others. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will be posting, I think, more often, more frequently now that I'm back in Italy, and I'll keep you updated on my life. Let me know if you have any questions or want to chat. Bye for now.